Hi, welcome to another episode of Hot Takes. Paul McLennan can't win, can he? He is the SNP's housing minister, and he's stuck between a rock and a hard place. The rock, of course, is the Greens, and the hard place is the Tories, and it's all over plans for rent controls. Now, the Greens obviously want rent controls because Patrick Harvey will never be able to buy a house, and he wants this there so he doesn't have constant rent rises, and he doesn't want to be thrown out when he can't pay his rent when he's lost his job. On the other hand, you have the Tories that want no rent controls whatsoever. They say it's damaging, as every time the rent controls are brought in, it makes things worse. They do have a point. And so McLennan does what the SNP do every time. He doesn't want to fight either, so he waters down the rent controls and annoys both the Greens for having it watered down and the Tories for actually having it. Pick one side, but what he's doing is straddling the fence. Presumably, he must like the feeling. Now, this obviously is more dangerous to him because of the Greens being upset. It's one of their policies that they say must come in or they won't back the budget. And so he's just giving them a little sniff, if you will, of rent control legislation, which gives, basically, it's not a full legal right, but it gives councils the ability to implement either temporary rent controls or limited rent controls rather than the full governmental control that the Greens have been after. The Tories, on the other hand, say there should be no rent controls. It should be a free open market and let the market decide the price. And it's hard to argue both ways. We know rent controls are absolutely damaging and will make life worse for renters. On the other hand, with complete lack of control, it will be constantly rising. That's the argument they're using. But it actually isn't. Good landlords know. Good landlords don't raise the rent on good tenants. They might put it up a little bit, but they don't go boom, boom, boom and just throw it up a long way. And that's the difference. It's a partnership. A long time partnership. If you have good tenants, you don't want to get them out because you don't know what's coming in. You've got to polish a nice tenant, polish the good ones. And so that's what's happening. Now, the way they're looking is that the rents can go up by no more than inflation point plus 1%. That's what the Greens wanted. But they've watered it down so it's no more than inflation plus 6%. Now, you'd think you can get on board with that if you were Tory, but it's the principle. And there's McLennan in the middle, scratching his head, going, I don't know what I'm doing. But then I suppose that sums up just about everything in the SNP, isn't it? None of them have a clue. Oh well, find out come the budget day whether it's enough for the Greens or whether they will completely snooker the SNP and force an election. Interesting choices, interesting times. Thanks a lot. Bye.